and welcome to my journey. Hey guys, I thought that you should maybe be with me when I hit submit on this application that I have been working so hard on. All right, here goes nothing. I have triple, quadruple, quintuple checked everything. So if there's a mistake, shame on me. All right, here goes nothing. 3, 2. Okay, it is submitted. So I just hit submit on my first application. I've probably not slept for about 2 weeks, no joke, completely subsisting on protein bars and coffee, but I did it. And there was a period of time where I did not think I would be applying round 1, no joke. I almost applied round 3 last year, but yeah, just this constant cycle, this constant sort of torrent of essay drafts and iteration and writing thousands of words to throw it away and start again over and over again. And I guess my biggest piece of advice is allotting yourself much more time than you think you need, and writing, and possibly being ready to just throw away what you're doing to start over again, and not thinking of the thousands of words as like a sunk cost, as being pot committed, but rather just really this sort of therapy to get you to unlock and just dig deep into your goals. So that's my biggest piece of advice. So I have quite a number of applications coming up in the next week. I also really wanted to thank the Admit Me Fellows so much for their really amazing tribute on my last video regarding the explosion in Beirut. It's been really tough, not just because of that, but just like life has been tough. I injured my knee and thought it was just going to be physical therapy, and then they're like, oh, it's a really small surgery. Turns out it's a really substantial surgery, and I probably won't be walking for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So I'm actually have to schedule the surgery around these applications and interviews. So it's been another source of stress. So it's just like being prepared for anything, because anything can come your way. But regardless, it's just this, again, it's just turning it out, and it gets easier. Working on some of the more esoteric applications, they inform one another, but the ones that are slightly more traditional, the YMBA, are a completely different skill set, and I have a couple more of those coming up. But fortunately, there are some parallels, but and I've given myself a year to really get to know these schools and understand their strengths. It's not enough to just Google 4 classes and plug that in. You can probably do it, and some of you will get in, but you want to make sure you end up in the right place. And that's been, I think, the biggest thing. I'm leading a learning team with Admit Me Fellows, and just talking with some of my teammates is just realizing that there is a sort of element or there should be an element of self-selection when you learn about these schools and you're doing the application. And there may be a point where you realize, this school just really isn't for me. It might be a huge name, but if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. You will end up where you will thrive. End up with someone who you'll be really happy with. And again, it's about the journey in life. It's not about the destination.
Hi everyone, it's Yosselin. I am still working through round 1 applications. So my plan is to do what I have to do at work for my projects, and then clock out as soon as I can so that I can go back to review the essays for my other 2 applications. It has been crazy. I actually started writing my essays about 4 weeks ago, and I thought they were in really good shape, but I didn't realize how much work they needed until I shared it with a couple of friends to give me their feedback, and they gave me a ton of edits. And so going through those edits, I realized that my other essays that I thought were almost ready to be submitted. Like they sort of need to be rewritten again. And so I'm stepping it up on the gas and working on my other essays. I definitely want to get some real talk in here, is that this application process has been very intense and challenging for me. I feel like I'm running out of time, so much so that I didn't even try to wear makeup for these videos, and I typically try to look my best, but honestly I just want to spend every waking moment of the day that I'm not working on my essays. There was actually a point in the past 3 days where I questioned whether I should hold on and apply in round 2, because I really thought that my essays weren't ready to be submitted. And honestly, this isn't ideal at all. If you can give yourself more time to have a balanced journey, I highly recommend that you do that. But I think what happened with me, the problem was that I didn't share my essays with other people early enough to obtain harsh feedback. And when I got real, honest feedback, it fired me up and it helps me realize how my other essays need a ton of work. And so looking ahead, I definitely would give my essays to my most honest friends way early on. Unfortunately, I'm 1 week away from the other 2 deadlines, and so for the next week I'm just gonna have to keep up the momentum. I'm typically very balanced, or I like to lead a very balanced lifestyle, but here I am. It is what it is. This is the reality. And so for those of you applying in round 2 or October, do your essays way ahead of time and give them to people in your life that are not going to sugarcoat feedback. Make sure that you get people who are going to give it to you like it is, and don't be afraid to hear them out, because it's only going to make your essays stronger, and it's going to give you enough time to get them to the point where you're going to feel proud about them. So I submitted my first application yesterday, and honestly I felt on top of the world. I took a screenshot of the application confirmation page and sent it to my mom, my closest friends, and my mentors. And leading up to application rounds, I thought that I was going to be the type to not want to share that I was applying to business school, in the fear that I would get rejected and I didn't want to be embarrassed in front of my community. But honestly, I don't really care anymore. The mere fact of applying for me feels like a huge accomplishment. I already feel like I'm in a school. And so even if I don't get accepted, which let's cross our fingers that I do, I am already so grateful to have made it to this point of my journey, because it represents all of the hundreds of hours that I had to put into the exam, all of the times I had to tell my friends and family no when they wanted to hang out. And so for me, it just felt like a moment to celebrate and to reflect on. And so I FaceTimed my mom, and we celebrated together on the phone, and it was really nice to see her be so proud of me, because the reason I'm even able to submit is because of the things that she had to sacrifice in her life. Also, after celebrating with her, I still had a ton of energy, and so I turned up my favorite song from when I was 16 years old, that would get me excited about my future. And the song is kind of silly. It is the I Want to Be a Billionaire song from Bruno Mars. I remember going through Forbes magazines and getting my inspiration of what a successful life looked like. And so in my essay, I talk about that. I talked about how I would dream from like the stories I would read on Forbes magazine. And so it just felt fitting to celebrate my first application with this song.
Thank you for watching. Take care and see you soon.